If there's one principle that stands at the center of every achievement, every story of greatness, and every act of true transformation, it's definiteness of purpose. It is not just another self-help cliché, but the very foundation upon which all enduring success is built. Without it, every talent, every dream, every bit of effort is scattered like seeds in the wind, alive with possibility, but unlikely ever to take root. When I confronted the devil about his greatest weapon against human progress, his answer was immediate. I exploit the aimless. The vast majority, he claimed, are not defeated by circumstance, but by their own lack of direction. Give me a person who doesn't know what they want, the devil said, and I will guide them exactly where I want, into mediocrity, regret, and silent frustration. People do not fail from lack of ability, but from lack of focus. So, what is definiteness of purpose? It is the power to decide with clarity and conviction what you truly want, and to make that purpose the organizing force of your life. Not a wish, not a vague hope, not something you should do, but a burning desire, a vision that shapes every choice, every plan, every action. The devil confessed that most people drift through life as passengers, not drivers. They wait for permission, for the right time, for a sign that never comes. They let the opinions of others, the fears of failure, and the inertia of routine set their course. You can be busy your whole life, he said, and end up nowhere if you never choose your destination. But definiteness of purpose is not just about setting goals, it's about identity. It's about knowing, at the deepest level, who you are and what you stand for. It's the answer to the hardest questions. What will you fight for? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Who do you become when you stop asking for approval and start living for something larger than yourself? The devil admitted that the rarest and most dangerous humans, dangerous to him, that is, are those with a clear purpose. They are hard to tempt, hard to sway, hard to defeat. Their setbacks become fuel. Their critics become motivators. Their obstacles become training grounds. Purpose makes people persistent in the face of failure, creative in crisis, and patient with the slow pace of real progress. He revealed that most people confuse activity with achievement. Running in circles is not the same as moving forward. Only those with purpose have a compass strong enough to say yes to what matters and no to what doesn't. In a world of distractions, only purpose gives focus, only purpose gives courage, only purpose turns potential into reality. So, as you begin this journey, ask yourself, what would your life look like if you lived with true purpose? What dream would you resurrect? What action would you take today if you stopped waiting for certainty and started acting on conviction? The devil warned, the world will always try to scatter your focus, but only you can decide where your energy goes. Every day you drift is a day I gain ground. Let this be the day you claim your direction, because the world does not yield its prizes to the aimless, but to the determined. Having exposed the devil's deepest fear, a human with unwavering purpose, I pressed him for the details. What exactly happens, step by step, when someone embraces definiteness of purpose? Why does it so powerfully shield them from drifting and defeat? The devil, with a trace of reluctant respect, began to outline the invisible mechanics of focus. Definiteness of purpose, he explained, is more than a declaration. It's an anchor for the soul. It gathers all your scattered energies and aligns them like a lens, focusing sunlight into a beam strong enough to ignite action. He described how most people wake each morning with their minds already crowded with doubts, distractions, the echoes of yesterday's failures and tomorrow's worries. But those with purpose start their day by remembering who they are and what they're after. He revealed how purpose becomes a compass, making hard choices easier. When you know what you want, indecision fades. You're no longer paralyzed by options or the fear of missing out. Every yes is intentional. Every no is empowered. The world offers 1,000 distractions, but purpose acts as a filter, allowing only what strengthens your direction. We discussed how purpose withstands criticism and doubt. A person with purpose expects resistance. They don't measure their path by the number of cheerleaders, but by the strength of their conviction. Criticism is inevitable, but it becomes background noise reminders that you are on a path that matters. The devil described the transformation that purpose creates over time. At first, it's just a decision, an internal commitment, but each day you show up, your purpose grows roots. You start to build habits, routines, even relationships around it. The mind, once scattered, now finds relief in order. Creativity thrives, energy increases, and setbacks become fuel rather than defeat. He warned of purpose's greatest enemy, drift. Drifting is always waiting subtle, seductive, disguised as rest or flexibility. But drift is not rest, it's surrender. Every day you don't choose, I choose for you. The world will never hand you purpose, you must claim it and reclaim it again and again. I asked for practical steps. The devil was clear. Write your purpose down, speak it aloud, share it with others, turn it into rituals, reminders, and boundaries. Review it daily, especially when you feel lost. The mind cannot obey what the heart has not chosen. He described how the environment shapes our ability to hold focus. Spend time with people who have their own purposes. Avoid those who mock ambition or celebrate distraction. Design your workspace, your routines, even your social media, to serve your direction, not scatter it. Every detail matters when building a new groove. The devil closed this confession with a final warning. Purpose will be tested. You will question, stumble, even forget. But the practice of returning, of choosing again, every day is what separates the persistent from the perpetual drifter. So, as you continue this journey, ask yourself, how will you claim your direction today? What rituals, reminders, and allies will you enlist to guard your purpose from drift? The story of your life is not written in intentions, but in the purpose you practice one decision at a time. Determined to get beyond theory, I challenge the devil. So how does someone actually discover their purpose? If it's so powerful, why do so many people drift for decades before finding it or never find it at all? The devil grinned, savoring the question. Because most people look for purpose outside themselves, waiting for it to be handed down from above, delivered by fate, or revealed in a flash of certainty. But purpose isn't a gift you receive. It's a claim you make. It's built, not found. He described how the search begins with honest reflection. You cannot choose your purpose if you are lying to yourself. It starts with ruthless honesty. What do you care about, even when no one's watching? What makes you lose track of time? What injustice angers you, or what beauty lifts your heart? The clues are in your reactions, your obsessions, your envy, your regrets. Purpose is rarely about should. It's about what won't let you go. The devil warned against the myth of a single calling. Many wait for a thunderbolt, a passion so obvious they can't miss it. But most people's purpose changes, evolves, matures with experience. Don't confuse clarity with inflexibility. Sometimes your purpose is simply to pursue the next right question. We explored the obstacles. Society encourages imitation. People compare, copy, or wait for permission. They take jobs, relationships, even hobbies based on others' opinions. But borrowed goals create borrowed lives, and emptiness is the inevitable result. He revealed that drifting is often disguised as ambition. You can work hard your whole life chasing money, status, approval without ever acting from true purpose. The world will always offer scripts, but only you can write your story. He described how people lose years to indecision. Waiting for certainty is a trap. Purpose is chosen in motion. Start with curiosity, pursue what interests you, even if it feels small. The path is made by walking, not by standing still. The devil offered practical exercises. Write a list of the moments when you felt most alive. Track the patterns. Interview yourselves why you admire your heroes, or what you'd do if you knew you'd succeed. Purpose is not an answer, but a series of choices. Every experiment, every failure brings you closer. He spoke about the role of courage. To claim your purpose, you must risk disapproval, failure, even loneliness. Not everyone will understand, and that's proof you're on your own path. The more you act in alignment with what matters, the stronger your sense of direction grows. The devil ended this confession with a dare. Don't wait for permission. Begin today with what you have. Purpose is the sum of your chosen actions, not the perfection of your plan. So, as you listen, ask yourself, where have you been waiting for certainty? What question or experiment will you pursue right now, simply because it calls to you? In chasing clarity, don't forget to live. The path to purpose is made step by step, never by standing still. With the devil's insight still echoing, I pushed deeper. Once someone finds a sense of purpose, how do they turn it from an idea into reality? What makes purpose more than a fleeting inspiration or a line in a journal? He responded, his tone sharper now, as if this was the step most humans never take. Purpose means nothing if it stays in your head, he began. True purpose demands expression. It must shape your daily actions, your calendar, your boundaries, your conversations. Otherwise, it's just a comforting daydream, a story you tell yourself to avoid discomfort. He described the first transformation, turning purpose into commitment. Declare it, write it down. Tell someone you trust. Speak it aloud every morning. Purpose is like a muscle. It grows stronger with use and weakens with neglect. The bolder your declaration, the more real it becomes, not just to you, but to the world. Next came the discipline of structuring your life around your purpose. Purpose must guide what you do and what you refuse to do. Review your schedule. Does it reflect what you say matters most? If not, cut the distractions. Build routines and habits that reinforce your direction. Say no often, so you can say yes with conviction. Every commitment is either a vote for your purpose or against it. The devil explained the power of environment. Most drift because their world pulls them away from focus. Rearrange your space, your peer group, even your digital habits so they echo your purpose. Surround yourself with reminders, notes, images, mantras that pull you back to your why. The fewer frictions between you and your aim, the greater your progress. He warned about the myth of motivation. Purpose doesn't always feel exciting. Some days it's a grind. Inspiration is unreliable, but systems are faithful. Anchor your purpose in rituals. Daily reflection, goal reviews, check-ins with a mentor or ally. Progress comes not from heroic effort, but from consistent small steps, even on days when you'd rather quit. We explored overcoming setbacks. Every meaningful pursuit is tested by resistance, delays, criticism, boredom, self-doubt. Most people mistake these for signs to quit. But each obstacle is simply a test. Will you return to your purpose, or will you drift? The strong anticipate setbacks, prepare for them, and view each return as a victory, not a failure. The devil described how celebrating progress fuels persistence. Acknowledge every milestone, no matter how small. Track your wins. Purpose isn't a finish line, but a direction. The more you notice your progress, the easier it is to keep going. He left me with a crucial reminder. Purpose becomes real only when it's lived. Don't mistake clarity for completion. Your true power is not in the size of your dream, but in your willingness to return day after day to what matters most. So, what can you do today to express your purpose in action? What routine, boundary, or habit can you establish as a vote for your true direction? Remember, the devil fears those who move with intention, one honest step at a time. The deeper our conversation went, the more I realized living with purpose isn't a straight line. It's a messy, winding road full of detours, setbacks, and moments when the world seems determined to shake your resolve. So I asked the devil, what happens when people stray from their purpose? Is it lost forever, or is there a way back? His answer was both practical and deeply human. Everyone strays, he began. No one lives with perfect focus every day. Even the greatest achievers lose their way, sometimes for weeks, months, even years. The real difference isn't in never drifting, but in returning. Every time you remember your purpose and choose it again, you weaken my grip. He explained the inevitability of setbacks. Purpose is tested most in failure, disappointment, and doubt. These are the moments when my voice grows louder, whispering that you're not enough, that your goal is too big, that comfort is safer. Most people believe these doubts are the end. The awakened know they're just the middle. The devil described how to recognize the signs of drift. When you notice your days are blurring, when you're busy but unsatisfied, when your calendar is full but your heart is empty, these are signals. Drift starts quietly with little compromises, a skipped ritual, a broken promise, a day spent on someone else's agenda. Awareness is your first tool. Don't shame yourself, just notice. He spoke about the power of forgiveness. Perfectionism is my ally. The harsher you are with yourself, the longer you'll stay lost. The strong forgive quickly, learn the lesson, and return. Every return is an act of courage and a proof that your purpose is alive. We discussed the art of making course corrections. Review your goals and habits regularly. If you're off track, adjust. Purpose isn't stubbornness, it's the willingness to steer. Change your approach, Update your rituals. Let go of what no longer serves. The only fatal error is refusing to pivot. The devil revealed the secret of renewal. Sometimes you'll outgrow your old purpose. That's not failure, that's evolution. The world changes, you change. Don't cling to what's dead. Let yourself grieve and then choose again. Purpose is not a single destination, but a way of traveling. He warned of the trap of comparison. Drift is easiest when you measure yourself by others' journeys. Stay on your own path. The loudest voices, social media, critics, even family are distractions. Your only compass is your conviction. Finally, he described the long game. True purpose is lived over a lifetime. Some days it burns bright, other days it's a small flame. The aim is not constant intensity, but constant return. Every time you choose your direction, you build resilience and take back ground, I would claim. So, if you've lost your way, remember, purpose is not a fragile treasure, but a loyal companion. The question is not whether you'll drift, but whether you'll return. Each return is proof that you are, in fact, alive and still in control of your journey. The conversation turned now to the invisible forces that support or sabotage our purpose, and not just the decisions we make, but the environment and relationships we cultivate. I challenge the devil. What makes it so difficult to hold on to purpose for the long haul? Why do so many start strong only to lose their direction months or years later? He smiled knowingly. Because purpose is never kept in isolation. It thrives or withers in the company you keep, the routines you practice, and the stories you consume. Even the clearest goal can be eroded by the friction of daily life and the gravity of negative influence. The devil described the first threat, the power of environment. You are shaped by what surrounds you physically and emotionally. If your space is cluttered, your time stolen by distraction, or your mind filled with the noise of others' expectations, your purpose will be diluted. The strongest people are ruthless in designing their world for clarity. They eliminate chaos, minimize friction, and create reminders everywhere. Every note, every habit, every friend can either pull you toward your purpose or away from it. He explained the subtle impact of relationships. Ambition is contagious, but so is doubt. Spend time with those who stretch you, who speak possibility, who live by example. Avoid those who undermine, mock, or discourage ambition, especially when they pretend it's for your own good. Even a single skeptic, repeated often enough, can become the voice you hear in your head when things get tough. The devil warned about the stories we tell ourselves. Narratives of limitation. I always quit. I'm too late. I'm not enough are my favorite tools. The more you rehearse them, the deeper they dig into your identity. Replace them with stories of resilience, of past comebacks, of lessons learned. Your mind will believe whatever you practice, so practice conviction. He outlined the need for renewal. Purpose isn't a one-time vow, it must be refreshed. Life changes, dreams evolve, setbacks teach. Set aside regular time, weekly, monthly, even yearly, to review your purpose. Is it still true? Does it need refining, expanding, or even replacing? The bravest are not those who never change, but those who choose again and again and again. We discuss the practice of boundary setting. Purpose requires saying no. Every yes is a no to something else. Be vigilant against commitments that don't align. The strongest protect their mornings, their energy, their focus like treasures. The world is full of invitations to drift. The wise build gates. The devil offered a final piece of advice for this part. Purpose grows stronger every time you protect it from distraction, from negativity, from your own doubt. The act of defending your direction is itself an act of progress. So, today, examine your environment, your relationships, and the stories you repeat. What needs changing, upgrading, or letting go? What routine, reminder, or boundary will you set to defend your direction today and every day after? True purpose isn't found. It's guarded, nourished, and renewed. Are you ready for the next step? By now, it was clear. Purpose is more than a mission statement or a spark of inspiration. It's the steady engine behind a meaningful life, the reason some rise from failure stronger while others remain adrift. I asked the devil, what happens when someone truly lives with definiteness of purpose? How does it shape their mind, their results, and the world around them? He answered without hesitation. A person with purpose is a force of nature. Their mind is organized. Their energy, no matter how modest, is amplified by focus. Problems become puzzles instead of threats. Setbacks become lessons, not excuses. Their sense of meaning makes even mundane tasks worthwhile because everything is linked to something bigger. The devil described how purpose builds resilience. When your direction is clear, you expect challenge and difficulty, but these do not shake you, they inform you. Purposeful people greet obstacles as data. What can I learn? How do I adapt? They measure themselves by their persistence, not their perfection. He gave examples. The athlete who gets back up after a loss, the entrepreneur who reinvents after a failed launch, the parent who keeps showing up for a child through tough times. In each case, it's not raw talent or luck that wins the day, but a deep sense of why something worth returning to again and again. Purpose, he explained, sharpens decision-making. Where others hesitate, the purposeful act. Where others say yes to everything and everyone, they choose with clarity. Their time is spent on the essentials. Every project, every relationship, every habit is weighed against the scale of purpose. The devil highlighted a surprising benefit: freedom from comparison. When you're anchored in purpose, you don't chase trends or envy others' success. You are less distracted by praise or criticism. You have your own scorecard. This gives you peace and it makes you difficult to manipulate. My influence wanes the moment you stop measuring your worth by others' opinions. We explored the ripple effect of purpose. People notice when someone lives with direction. It's contagious. Friends, partners, even strangers feel braver around you. You become a model not because you're perfect, but because you return to your aim with honesty. He warned, however, that this kind of living is rare. It's easier to drift, to fit in, to delay. The world rewards comfort, not courage. But comfort is the devil's currency. Those who trade it for conviction become almost unstoppable. The devil ended this part with a challenge. Purpose is not a shield against hardship. It's a torch that lights your way through it. The more you carry it, the brighter your world becomes, and the more you inspire others to find their own light. So, reflect. How would your days change if you lived with true purpose? What choices, boundaries, or habits would become non-negotiable? What kind of example would you set for others, not in perfection, but in persistence? Ready to keep going? The conversation grew even more practical as I pressed the devil about long-term vision. Purpose sounds powerful in the short term, but how do people sustain it for years through changing seasons, failures, even successes? How do they keep from drifting as life evolves? He answered, "The secret is adaptation without abandonment. Purpose isn't a static sentence, it's a living principle. The strongest people revisit and refine their purpose over time. They understand that as life shifts career, health, relationships, even the world around them, their direction may require updates. They stay loyal to their why, but flexible in their how." He spoke about the power of periodic reflection, the purposeful scheduled times for review. They step back monthly, yearly to ask, is this still my path? What have I learned? What excites me now? What has become baggage I need to drop? This ritual of reflection prevents the slow creep of drift. The devil described the danger of success drift. Ironically, success is as risky as failure. It's easy to mistake momentum for meaning to keep running just because you're moving. Many abandon their true purpose for applause, money, or comfort. The wise pause to check. Does this achievement fit my core aim, or is it a distraction in disguise? He explored the importance of legacy. Purposeful people think beyond their own lifespan. They plant seeds, values, lessons, courage that outlive them. They mentor, teach, share their story honestly, knowing that their example may light a fire in someone else even long after they're gone. We talked about embracing seasons. There will be phases of intense drive and seasons of rest, renewal, even reinvention. Purposeful people honor these cycles. They know when to push, when to recover, when to learn, and when to let go. They avoid the burnout that comes from mistaking urgency for importance. The devil also described the role of humility. No one gets it right all the time. Mistakes, wrong turns, and losses are inevitable. But the purposeful forgive themselves quickly, adjust their course, and start again. They are humble enough to learn, bold enough to persist. He warned against perfectionism, waiting for the perfect moment The perfect plan, or the perfect version of yourself, is drift in disguise. Progress is made in motion. The world belongs to those who show up, who participate, who risk getting it wrong in pursuit of something right. The devil closed with a final image. Purpose is a lighthouse in the storm, but you are the captain. Your job is to steer, adjust, and keep moving toward the light, even as the weather shifts, even when the shore is out of sight. So ask yourself, what does your purpose call you to do, to change, or to share today, this season, and in the years ahead? Who can you mentor? What legacy can you begin to build? Remember, purpose is not just for you, it's your gift to the world. By this point, the lesson had grown undeniable. Purpose is not just the ignition of ambition, but the anchor that holds you steady through the fiercest storms. Still, I wanted to know, what does returning to purpose look like in the toughest moments when all seems lost, when failure feels final, or when the world's chaos drowns out your inner voice? The devil's answer was blunt. Crisis does not destroy purpose, it exposes it. Under pressure, people do not invent a new identity, they revert to the core convictions they've practiced. That's why daily choices, no matter how small, matter. They are rehearsals for the inevitable tests. He explained the power of micro-returns. The strongest are not those who never stray, but those who return quickly and often. In chaos, fatigue, or disappointment, they check in. What was my purpose? Why did I begin? Even the smallest act of recommitment, a note to yourself, a call to a mentor, a 5-minute ritual breaks the spell of drift and reignites direction. We explored honesty as a compass. When you're off track, name it. The longer you hide, the heavier the guilt and confusion grow. Speak the truth. I lost my way, but I am choosing again. Each honest admission is a clearing in the storm, a place to begin anew. The devil highlighted persistence over perfection. Life will test your aim with setbacks, criticism, and temptation. Most will interpret these as signs to give up. The purposeful see them as confirmation. This is what matters. The stronger the wind, the deeper they dig their roots. They may rest, they may grieve, but they do not abandon the field. He described how community supports resilience. A single voice is easily silenced by doubt, but a chorus of allies, mentors, friends, colleagues can help you remember when you forget. Purpose is both an individual vow and a communal song. Surround yourself with others who value what you value. Their reminders, support, and example can pull you through even your darkest hours. We discussed the role of celebrating small wins. Don't wait for the grand finale. Every day you return, every time you say no to distraction, every small action taken in line with your goal, these are victories. Honor them. Each win is a vote for the person you're becoming. The devil warned of the final trap, resignation. Some, after repeated setbacks, decide it's too late to begin again. This is my last best hope to convince you that your story is finished. But your story is never over as long as you can return. The only true end is surrender. He ended with this challenge. When the storm comes, and it always will, ask yourself, what is still worth fighting for? What will you return to, even when it's hard? Purpose, once chosen and practiced, is the thread that pulls you home. So, as you close in on your own journey, remember, purpose isn't about never being lost. It's about always finding your way back. The world belongs to those who persist, return, and refuse to give up no matter what. As our final dialogue approached, I pressed the devil for his last, most essential lesson on definiteness of purpose. He paused, almost regretful, as if he knew he was about to give up his sharpest weapon. Here is the truth I try hardest to hide, he said. A life guided by purpose is nearly impossible to control. Drifting, distraction, self-doubt, these lose their power the moment a person chooses, claims, and returns to their true aim. He described how, for the purposeful, every day is a new chance. You will be tempted to quit, to settle for routine, to let critics or comfort decide your direction. But every morning offers a fresh patch, a chance to remember your why, recommit to your goals, and step forward again. It's not the size of your ambition that matters, but the consistency of your return. The devil explained how purpose transforms fear. Doubt becomes curiosity, failure becomes feedback, and even pain becomes the teacher. Purposeful people aren't free from anxiety or mistakes. They simply refuse to let those things dictate the story. They know the cost of drifting is far greater than the price of perseverance. He spoke of the legacy of purpose. You won't just change your own life, you'll influence everyone who sees your example. Children, friends, strangers, they notice your conviction, your courage, your willingness to return. The grooves you create become paths for others. Purpose ripples outward, multiplying its power long after you're gone. We discussed how purpose breeds peace of mind. There's a kind of quiet confidence that belongs only to those who know where they're headed, even if the road is long, even if they fall along the way. They trade the chaos of drift for the stability of direction, the noise of comparison for the music of meaning. The devil closed with a reluctant challenge. You'll never fully silence the temptations of drift, but you don't have to. Your work is to notice, to choose again, to return. Every act of participation, every day lived with intention, weakens my influence. The world is full of distraction, but you were made for direction. So as this chapter ends and your new journey begins, ask yourself, what is my true aim right now? What small action can I take today in service of that purpose? Who could be inspired by the way I return again and again to what matters most? Let your life be proof that purpose is not a privilege for the chosen few, but a practice available to anyone every day. And in that practice, you outwit not only the devil, but every doubt and obstacle that stands between you and your destiny.